9 years ago, hijacked planes crashed into the World Trade Center towers in New York, into the Pentagon, and in a field in Pennsylvania. The horror of that day and the bravery of those who faced tragic consequences is remembered every year at the 9/11 memorial here in Naperville. Two current Naperville residents headed to New York's Ground Zero within days of the catastrophe to lend a hand. NCTV 17's Ryan Piers tells us their story.
Chuck Worley was in the sky. He flew in just one of 7 planes the FAA cleared to fly to the New York Ground Zero rescue effort. And deep in the Manhattan morgue, dentist Anthony Lavaca was putting his skills to use.
You find a tooth or a bridge or someone and you try to identify that tooth by either there's a filling in it, a root canal, or a crown.
Overall, there was such a disaster site. You can't really prepare for a lot of things. Our guys were doing searches underground in the voids, found no live remains.
During his rescue effort, Worley was the first to be notified of Naperville Commander's Dan Schanauer's death while at his post in the Pentagon.
I got an email that says, "Hey, I found you a guy from Naperville."
Those memories are still fresh for Dr. Lavaca and Chuck Worley 9 years later, especially in early September.
Going into the city to go to the morgue and then going into Manhattan, and there were just like no cars. It was just empty, not even a taxi. So it was pretty unbelievable.
And he had dropped me off at Rescue One's house, which is the most elite rescue company in the world. And I wanted to buy one of their rescue services patches. And he didn't have any to sell, but he took his hat off and tore the patch off his hat and gave it to me, which was very unique. And the guy's name was Joe Angelini Sr. Him and his son both perished that day.
Schanauer used the phrase, "freedom isn't free," in an essay he wrote for a military magazine. Now that phrase is used to honor him at Naperville's City Memorial.
I think this memorial is perfect. This is one of some 100,000 memorials in the United States, but we were one of the first.
Everybody should just come and just take a look at the steel beam here. It's really amazing, and hit it and just feel it and look at it, and just think that there was miles and miles of beams that came down from a plane hitting a building. And look around, look at the eternal torch. Some of the faces, this could be your mom, your dad, firemen, police officers. These are all of the civil service people in the area that help us too.
Reporting from the Riverwalk, Ryan Piers, Naperville News 17.
Naperville's memorial is a sculpture designed by Michigan artist Bill Cooper. It integrates 100 pounds of rubble from the damaged portion of the Pentagon, a twisted steel beam from the World Trade Center, and granite from the Pennsylvania region where Flight 93 crashed.